Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MicroOnda Podcast, the show that proudly brings you top music, news, and more. Here are your hosts, Ceromundo Johnny Quest and M.A. the Engineer. Solo en el Microonda.
Live from the most powerful city in the world. It's the most powerful podcast, the Microondas Podcast. With a little bit of time, we gonna feed your mind. It's episode 19. Shout out to all loyal listeners and all our new virgin listeners. Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Yo, episode 19.
What up?
We just coming back from a dope episode 18 where we had Chris Gotti and Don Dinero. Shout out to them, Adventure Music. Shout out to Cubano, Pink Problem, and Don Chino. Shout out Calle Cardona too, La Conecta for helping make it happen, yo. But yo, we're gonna listen to a song by our special guest today. We got Sway in the house, and we're gonna listen to Slow Down right now. Slow Down with the Microondas Podcast. Yo, stay tuned.
Let's go. Mama always said, "Hijo, there's more time than life." So I gave you my life, and this beats it's not just a rhyme. Real life, not a rhyme. Then I married me a dime. Dropped my first verse at 99. Call myself window shopping. Boo-boo, that girl cannot. Now I might feed the blind. Dropping my last blessing in disguise. Guys crying over my shoulders. Made my soul dry. Someone cry, I'm on now. My past is my past. Grandma, look at your boy now. Salvadorian blood thicker than mud. The hood taught me them lessons, for that they cuffed me up. The hood kept you in, but this money brought me some sin. Ran me over that ginger road, killed me all over again. Homie, you ain't dropping away while I'm talking this fake. The devil then tested temptation, yo, it brought me a grave. Done what I make a mess, playing that chess. Spoke to the best to confess, popping pills, pumping my chest. 10, 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, but all these niggas is bugging. Business is business. You loving, I'm mugging the devil. He talking, either you win or you let go. A prideful nigga, I talking like a token, got them huevos. An OG, but wait, that's what they call me. First Latino in Baltimore radio, they don't recall me. Not including pun, talking about in my area. Bammers are more than image than what they see me in my area. Seen them dirty nights, running them Timbs with them Walkmans. I couldn't walk, fam, yo. You ain't slow in town. Young, running from a frown. That vodka done made me drown. Now I'm trying to stay awake, clean as potty mouth. Mama never heard me speak a promise. I was the neighborhood comet, dodging a bullet by the size of a comet. But I got it, I don't dab it. My legacy gave the magic. K48, I stained my name in the game. Illmatic. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that was Slow Down by Sway from 848. What's happening, Sway? Yo, thank you. Welcome to the Microondas Podcast. We appreciate you coming through and stuff. How you been, my brother? It's been a minute we catch up.
First of all, man, I want to say thank you. I appreciate the love and support that, you and M.A., hit me off with, especially by reaching out to me. And but yeah, man, I've been good, bro. It's a blessing. I've been here for quite a while, making it do what it do. But I have a single now, and just promoting it a little bit, All
right.
And besides that, it's just life. Life hits you.
Right, of course. But before life hits, we want to go back because I know a lot of listeners, a lot of your fans, they want to hear your story of, your first interactions with hip hop.
Yeah.
When you first picked up the pen or when you first freestyled. Or
your humble beginnings, how 848 came to be.
Yeah.
But more your story and stuff.
Y'all taking me back to actual papers and
Yeah.
pencils. Damn, that's what's up. Nah.
Scratch pad.
Well, it all started, man, when I was like 10 years old. I used to look up to this cat named Miguel. He was a Dominican cat from around the way, and he was actually one of the dudes that started rapping. And I grew up in a neighborhood called Northwest Park, and
Shout out NWP.
Shout out NWP, yeah, def. And I was always in front of my stoop, man. You know what I mean? Just chilling, just chilling. And then everybody would just come around. Everybody would just start freestyling, and then Miguel would just come through with his what was that? The black and white notebook that
Right.
the
composition.
composition. Damn, I don't feel old as shit. But yeah, the
got kids,
composition.
you know
He'll
about
always flip pages to say
Uh-huh.
verses, and he had this style. The style was just like woo, mixed with like Mobb Deep, and so I was just got me like all bugged out, and I was like, damn, this nigga's nice with it. And so one day I decided just to start writing. And one of my biggest influences, Nas.
Around what year was this?
Oh man, I want to say, damn, we talking about like maybe 98.
Okay.
I think I
How
was
old
10
are you?
years old.
10?
I'm 31 now.
All right.
And
So you started at 10?
yeah, just writing.
wow.
Yeah, just
Okay.
writing.
It's a young age, right?
And just writing. And then till I got to 15, I decided to just hit the studio. And there was a studio up in Wheaton that one of my boys I used to go to school with, his dad actually had a studio in Wheaton. And his dad was singing Christian music. This studio was like completely like big enough for like his whole band and everything. So when I would just go in there, I would start doing my verses. I started cussing. He's like, whoa. He's like, bro, you can say anything you want except cuss words.
Oh wow.
I was like, can I say nigga? Because I say that a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he was just like, yeah, that's fine. So I was like, all right. I was like, bet. Because,
Jesus don't see color.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I to this day, I have talking about, that word.
Right.
It's just, I grew up with that word, and my neighborhood was just basically 95% black. And then, it's an influence in a
It was
way.
no more. It's from the
Yeah,
hood and stuff.
I mean,
Right.
so I've never gotten any like bad feedback over it,
Right,
because
right.
it's something that I grew up in. It's something that's like, how can I tell you? It blended in,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right. It was normal,
So
it was normal.
and then like you go to any Latino neighborhood with black, and then it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Right.
So I mean, it went from there. I started recording, and I was in high school. I started off with a group called Nemesis,
Okay.
and
who was in the group?
it was me and this cat named Breeze, Fabrizio, and we started from there, and then little by little, my brother Fito just decided to grab the pen, and he was actually 11 years old,
Oh wow.
and
Shout out to Fido.
yeah, shout out to Fito. He started grabbing the pen at 11. His first verse was on the Flowers for the Dead joint beat.
Oh wow.
And so he went on and on and on. He started rapping, and then he was just as like, hey, can I get in the group? And I was like, dog, you only 11. What you gonna rap about?
Right.
So I went from there, and then he was just writing till he got to like 14, 15. This cat was a monster.
Now were y'all just recording or were y'all doing shows at the time?
I was actually just recording with Breeze, just
Okay.
recording, working on our first project.
Okay.
So, and then afterwards is when Fito came in, and we completed the project with Fito when he was at 15.
Okay.
So it took us a while to actually, because at 15, I just wanted to throw whatever, And so when I was at, 19, 20 or something like that, that's when the whole project,
Okay. What was the
right.
name of the first project?
Quiet Storm.
Okay.
Yeah, it got influenced by Mobb Deep.
Mobb
Yeah.
Deep.
Not a
Deep,
Queen's
yeah.
influence.
Yeah, because I was on some, like, Mobb Deep, Nas, like, Raekwon type shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
dope sounds.
Yeah, so that was just me around that time. And so, it went from there.
Okay.
So when did you meet Trukin and the rest of the members? So when did 848 came to be?
848 began when I was like, I want to say 21.
Well, why did y'all
Oh.
change the name? Because
Well,
first it was
or-
Nemesis, right?
It was Nemesis, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out with me and Breeze, and then Fito went solo. Fito started, collaborating with reggaeton artists.
Okay.
And just Fito did the whole reggaeton thing.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he transitioned to that, and all of a sudden he went back to hip hop.
Now, were y'all rapping in English or
I was
Spanish?
rapping in English.
All
I can't
English,
rap
okay.
Spanish for shit, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was rapping in English. So the group broke up, and then Fito all of a sudden. Well, Trukin, like you mentioned, where did
Yeah.
I meet Trukin? Trukin was he's an OG from my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So he was one of the cats I used to look up.
Shout out Truca.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Those were one of the dudes that was just hustling on the corner, and, they would be like, Sway, what up, you know what I mean? You good, blah, blah, blah. So it went from there. So he's like an older brother to me.
Okay.
So, and then Fito one day, we were just
I
decided.
remember Truca when he was young and stuff.
Yeah. And so one day, Trukin hit me up. He was like, what's up, little nigga? I was like, what's up? He was just like, yo, y'all niggas is hot. He was like, let's get on track together. I was like, bet. He was like, I got a studio up in Aspen Hill. Come through. It went from there. And then
It was with Boom Boom, right?
yeah, Boom Boom's joint. Yeah.
Shout out Boom Boom. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. Shout out Boom Boom. And so we were just recording. So one day, Fito was like, dog, we from the same block. You know, I done seen a lot of things in front of my old building. You know, let's just go by 848. Our building is 848. And so we was just like, fuck it, let's go from there. 848, the movement. But it was never a group. It was just like a core. Or like, you know, a roof.
Right.
So we were all solo artists, but we always went by 848 the movement. Then we started recruiting mad cats.
Yeah, I remember y'all had like a whole bunch of
yeah,
folks
we
at
had
the
like
time.
8 artists, and then they were just, you know, they were all there. We were doing shows together. We started off with La Licuadero. What was that? Liriqueo joint with Rue. Yeah, and then it went from there, bro. We started meeting so many cats, and you know, that's where it all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. Now, at the time, what did you guys release? Any projects? Any mixtapes?
It's crazy because we've never actually gotten a project together with me, Trukin, and Fito as an 848 compilation. We've always had the intentions, and we've always had close encounters to even getting there, but it just never happened and that's one of the things that I guess kind of messed us up in a way. We were always in focus on everybody, like on ourselves, to try to, you know, get to our point, you know, to actually make it. That we never focus on an actual artist like Fito or Trukin or myself. You know, we were focused on each other. So it never got to that point. So, you know what I mean? And so just lately, like about 3 years ago, that's when we decided to just start pushing Fito hard, and we did. That's how he got the shows at Echo Stage, headlined the Fillmore, and at the Howard Theater too.
But those times where you were traveling out to California, to Vegas, all these places when you guys were, I mean, I thought you guys were popping off for a while.
Yeah, we all decided to just, I guess, Fito was always there. We all added 8, you know, artists that was in 848. We always said no matter what, Fito's gonna be the main guy, head guy.
Yeah.
You know, and so
what happened to the other artists that were on?
I just feel like they weren't hungry. You know, they weren't as hungry as we were, but shout out to them. You know, it's no love lost, you know what I mean? Except a couple of them idiots. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? But the rest, you know, shout out to them, you know, and, you know, they say what's up.
Are they making music or no?
Nah, none of them is.
Okay.
Nope, none of them are. And so, you know, we were the last.
They were able to weed out the bad links and whatnot.
Yeah, well, actually, one of them. Shout out to Lil V. He goes by what's his name, y'all? This cat from DC. He used to go by Lil V, and he actually does music now. He's always been doing music, but you know, he's the only one. But you know, it's always like what's up from afar, you know, because you know, busy schedules, you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, bro. I mean, we were supposed to work on a project, but like you were saying, I was just in focus on myself. That we decided in 2011 to push, you know, myself, and so we went on from there. And so I started, you know, I did the track with Fat Trail, called Bet That.
Yeah.
And it just went from there, dog.
How'd you get that? How'd you get the connect, man? Because like I know at that time Fat Trail was kind of hard to start doing featurings with. And I felt like you were like one of the only ones that I saw that kind of broke that barrier.
Yeah, man, it was crazy because one of my boys was actually cool with his manager.
Oh shit, okay.
And
this is before MMG too, right?
Yeah, before MMG. Yeah, his name is Debo.
Okay.
And so it went from there. And so we contacted each other. You know, he felt the beat. Fat Trail came through the studio. Dude was just humble. Came through the studio. He was just like, damn, I fuck with that beat. He sat down, actually wrote this whole verse right then and there. Over some rock.
That's tight.
Yeah, over some rock. So
did you write your verse there on the spot as well? Or
I had already written my verse.
Okay.
He wrote his verse there. You know what I mean? And like I said,
he did your vibe and verse.
Yeah. He followed the whole vibe. The only thing, lyrical content was the same thing. It was just, I guess, the delivery was different. You know, it was the Fat Trail. You know,
of course.
But besides that, man, connection was there, man. It was dope. And it went from there. And then actually after that, man, it was just booming for me. You know, it I was just on my grind, dropping my working on my mixtape. Then I went to Vegas, did a show in Vegas with Scarface. I went to Los Angeles. I did a couple of interviews there. Yeah, man, I was working, bro. I was working like crazy, man. I was traveling back to back to the point where, man, my life was just going crazy, bro. Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, besides that, man, yeah, we were working on me, and it went from there.
So what happened? Like, what happened to? So you get to a point where you're working, you're getting steady interviews, getting all this hype. So what happened? What happened on the decline? Like, what made you?
Man, if you did it the way I was doing it, brother, it was bad, man. You know, life hits you, man.
Yeah.
You know, life hits you, and you know, just being real honest, you know, I have a family.
Yeah.
You know, it got to the point where I was just grinding too much. I completely forgot I had a family. You know, which is no good.
Man. Priorities.
Yeah, which is no good. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to the point where, like, I was flying, and I mean, it didn't hurt my pockets because I was getting my hotels and my flights paid for. So it didn't hurt my pockets at all. Yeah. So, you know, I was just like, hell yeah, I'm going, you know? But at the end of the day, after all of that, man, like, I just, you know, got to the point where, like, music can come and go. Right. Not my family.
Family's first, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that actually made me stop, you know, took a break. You know, my son's older now, so, you know, he's into football and all that stuff. Yeah. So I give him more time now, man. But, you know, no matter what, you know, I'm always like, when I hear a beat, I got to drop some shit. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But after then,
that's never going to die, right?
Oh, hell nah, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. But, you know, once you hear that beat, it's like, shit, dog. Like, I start fiending for something. You know what I mean?
Brings back memories, probably, too.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I had a hell of a ride. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed it. Yeah. You know, not just after the whole Fat Trail situation, but even before that, Trugan and I went to San Diego to do a show for the NCLR.
Right, with Rue.
Yeah, with Rue. It was like the awards for, like, you know how the NAACP got their awards? Yeah. It's for the Latinos. Yeah. So
National Council de la Raza.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, that's actually that was one of our first out-of-town shows. Right. And of course with La Conecta in New York, you know, down in Miami. You know, shout out La Conecta, man. At the end of the day, man, La Conecta always looked out. One of the things I tell these artists nowadays is, you know, you want to stick with people that support you the most and is 100% behind your music, and that's La Conecta. Yeah. You know, I definitely salute them 100%. Calle Cordona, Fantasma, the whole team, man, even you guys, you know. Right. So, yeah, man, it went from there, and so, yeah, I can't front, man. I had a hell of a time. You know what I mean? Even with, you know, with the whole shebang.
Yeah.
No regrets?
Fuck, a lot. a lot. But, you know, that made me the person who I am now.
Yeah. Now, what were the name? I'm sorry. Before I get into the name of your mixtapes and stuff, how did you guys decide which artists to push out at the time? Like, did you guys vote, or because you mentioned that you guys went from having a rack of folks in the team, and then broke down into just 3 artists as part of 848, right?
Yeah.
So how did you guys decide? All right, we're gonna push Trucan, we're gonna push Feed, we're gonna push Sway. Whose decisions, or was that something all of y'all sat at a table, or like how did that plan?
Or just kind of happen naturally?
It's just some crazy shit. At the end of the day, it kind of happened, but you know, us 3, when we were working on a project. Like, we be on some, like, man, I gotta drop my prize before this nigga. You know, like, we be, even on a verse, man, I got fucking ripped Fito, you know what I mean? I got ripped True, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, we were just working, and all of a sudden, I was like, yo, I'm gonna drop my project on this date. And True gonna be like, I bet we gonna push it. Fito was like, we gonna push it. And then if Trucan's joint came like 3 months later, you know, we will do the same thing for him. But usually it will be like a year's end period. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, it will be like that. Like, whoever has enough material to drop something first.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So y'all didn't have to worry about who the spotlight was, really. Y'all were like, one person did their thing and then you pushed it.
Correct.
Next person did their thing, pushed it. And
correct.
Y'all were there for each other. That's good, man.
Yeah, we were always there for each other. Yeah. You know.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, we brothers, man. Like,
family.
You know, we going through so much shit that we go to the point where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't envy each other. I know a lot of groups that have gone through that stuff. You know what I mean? We never be like, man, damn, man, this nigga got
Right.
more publicity and
Right, right.
more attention for this mixtape and so forth and so forth. We ain't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I can't think of any rap groups where there's brothers. Like, can you think of any or no?
Like in the history of like hip hop.
Like in the history of hip hop.
Sure, there's
Brother?
some.
Yeah,
I remember there was some twins.
Y'all
on No
remember
Limit.
Cain and Abel?
Yeah, Cain and Abel. That's the only ones I could.
But
think
they only
of.
lasted for
Puerto
a couple.
Rican.
Yeah, Puerto
Right.
Rican.
That was
yeah,
No
yeah,
Limit,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, No Limit.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
Limit.
yeah.
That's the only one I could think of and stuff.
Yeah. Besides that, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But how is that relationship when you write with your brother and stuff? Because obviously it's like I said, I can't think of.
man,
You
Fito's ill, bro.
Right, but like when you write with, like, do you write the songs with your brother, or he's
No.
in a separate place and you're like writing to destroy him and he's doing?
We
sing back?
barely wrote in the studio.
Okay.
We always wrote like if we
Prior.
found a beat, like I would write at home.
Uh-huh.
Everybody would write at home, and then we'd get to the studio. We were never the type to just go to the studio and be like, all right, let's play a beat and just write. We felt like that was a waste of time. We wanted to go to the studio just prepared. Just to knock out 4 or
Save
5
money, too.
tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We wanted to do that. You know, just because we were hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were hungry. Like, shit. Like, if I was hungry the way I was back then right now, dog, I would have probably been on my second mixtape after the whole bullshit. You know what I mean? Because as far as right now, I have, 5 under my belt with the one coming up soon. But I felt like I should have had more. But, 2014 took a toll on me.
Right. What was the name of your first mixtape?
Well, it was with Nemesis, Quiet Storm.
Okay.
My last mixtape was called I Lived It, I Wrote It.
Okay.
Yeah. And the one coming up is called The Black and Red Tape too.
Okay.
So what are your plans for this black and red tape too? I think so. So now that you're doing, I think you mentioned that you're doing music. Maybe not to
For the love of it.
for the love of it. So what is your plans for this tape?
Just talking about my last chapter, as far as I got so many stories. A couple.
I got a quick question. I don't
Sure,
mean to cut
sure,
you off, but
sure,
you
sure.
said 2014 happened. What happened in 2014?
I blacked out.
For real?
Yeah, man. I was going through so much shit, man. Like as far as blacking out, like
just falling off the
alcohol
scene and
abuse,
everything?
you
It's like
popping pills,
personal stuff.
Yeah, personal stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
that came into the way, bro. And
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like I blacked out, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So a lot of stuff happened in that year.
Okay.
How'd you
know.
get through it?
God,
That's what's up.
yeah. I mean, everybody goes to a point where like, they reach out to God and it doesn't take it's not from one day to another where you can be like, all right, I'm gonna become a full Christian, blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
It's for me personally, it's just step by step. And to this day, there's a lot of things I still gotta work on myself. But
I think we all
from
do. Yeah.
2014 to now,
Right.
I felt like I've accomplished a lot.
Good.
Was it one of
that's
those
good.
things that maybe like people that were in your corner helped you get through it? Was it something more so that it was like, I got to do this myself? You know what I mean? How was it more, with talking to others or
Yeah.
more like yourself?
It was also talking to others.
Yeah.
I could tell you how many were around me around that time. I could count them with my fingers.
Yep.
I can't say more than 5. And so
What led you to this blackout?
it was just too much stress. I had issues with my family, parents and all that stuff.
You're going hard, man. You right?
Yeah, bro. And
Probably just going too hard. You need to
yeah.
take it
I was, as far as like with the music thing,
Yeah.
I was kind of like I didn't know what to do. With my family, and then when I say my family, with my kids and my wife, and then as far as my parents too. So
Shout out to the wife.
shout out to my wife.
Gotta give a
Shout out to all the wives out there that
Yeah.
support.
Hey, I appreciate that. She does
Yeah.
need a shout out because what I mean. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
a man needs a woman to stand,
absolutely.
a strong
Right,
woman to
absolutely,
stand
yeah.
right next to her,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
she was there through thick and thin,
stuck with
knowing
it. Yeah.
that I took her through hell and back, and I may know. He was one of the dudes that I reached out to and I let him know what was going on just cause what I mean. And yeah, man, shit was tough, but she stood right there. At the end of the day, we going strong, and this year actually renewing my vows. So
Okay.
Oh, that's
Congratulations,
right.
man.
yeah,
That's what's
appreciate
up.
that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it. It's crazy how you see how that shit transition, right? Rapper, all of a sudden you a family man, married again, right? But at the end of the day, bro, like it was just a way out for me.
Right.
I had to do the right thing.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what's up, man.
And she respects the fact that, you know, music is always going to be there, even though she hates it. Because, you know, every single time she think about it, she's like, fuck, man, you did this.
Memories, right? Yeah, it brings back a lot of, I could.
Yeah. But now, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, she respects that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
that's good, man.
Shout out to her for that.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
So, and then throughout your career, man, like, I know one thing when we started working back in Cecilio's place, when we went out in White Oak, I remember hip hop for me wasn't it was like a new thing as far as working on hip hop, because when I started with doing music, it was more reggaeton and stuff like that. So as far as being Latin in a group, you know, like at least in this area, how do you feel the Latin community as far as hip hop goes has grown since the time you started?
Before you answer
that,
also let people know your background, because a lot of folks don't know your background.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm Salvadorian. I was born in El Salvador. I came here when I was 5.
Okay.
And as far as the Latin community, you know, there's a lot of hip hop artists that are Latino, you know. And when I first met you, not a lot of cats. Well, to this day, I mean, me personally, I don't know a lot of Latino rappers. You know, I can name a few, which is, you know, shout out Lil E from the city. You know, my boy Hollywood, MWA.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing their thing, and you know, I salute them because they're always hungry.
Yeah.
You know,
they're local. And stuff.
Yeah, they're local, and you know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, you know, they're not doing something. You know, they doing something. You know, and salute to them for that. You know, so, but as far as being a Latino around that time, you know, I felt like we were the only Latinos at that time where we were just grinding, and people heard about that, you know.
And y'all were the only ones going to Baltimore too.
We were the only ones going to Baltimore. Yeah,
nobody else. Y'all hit Baltimore. Yeah. You had more shows in Baltimore before y'all.
Oh yeah, we started in Baltimore.
Yeah,
Shout out to QB Christy. You know, Christy made this happen in Baltimore. Christy, and we were doing crazy shows in Baltimore, and it was just like we were the only Latinos there. You would see you would see like 2 or 3 black folks with us, and then all of a sudden, when we would go upstage, Bama's would think we was going to start doing reggaeton and the hip hop concerts. You know what I mean? We was just like, nah. And then after that, we just started gaining respect.
Right.
And then little by little, Baltimore was just, I always say Baltimore is a love thing. Yeah. Baltimore was the first city in Maryland to hold us down.
Yes. Before DC and
exactly,
stuff, right? Yeah.
Before DC. Yeah. Even though, you know, a lot of people from Maryland always claim DC. Right. We never claim DC. Right. That's why when you see our 848 logo, there's a Maryland flag behind it. Because when we were in Baltimore, they'll be like, shout out my 848 dudes from DC. Right. We're like, bro, we're not from DC. And the crazy thing about it is that we met Squirrel Wide from 92.3. Right. And he was showing crazy love after the show. And he started asking for our drops and his Hooligan Express intro. So when he was like, I'm about to go down to DC, get my 848 boys. And we were like, dog, we're Maryland. You know? But shout out to Squirrel Wire for holding us down, man. You know, Squirrel was actually the only DJ on national radio to actually play both of my singles, which the first one was with Sencillo. Yeah, I remember. And then my second one was Fat Trail. Right. And the joint with Fat Trail actually got crazy spins. Right. And he was just like, man, if I get another call right now, I'll spin this motherfucker for a month. And if I get more, I'm going to keep spinning it. Right. You spin that joint for a month. The reason why is because my grind started to slow down because of the situation. Right. You know, but Squirrel to this day, he showed love, man. Like,
so it don't matter if he thinks you're from DC. He could think you're from Boston. It don't matter, right?
I think he got the point after a while. Like, you know, but you know what I mean. And to this day, like, you know, when it's Pun's birthday and stuff like that, he'll knock down like, you know, Pun mixes and stuff like that. Cause I don't hear that at 93.9 or 95.5. Right. Yeah. And then he'll be like, shout out 848, and it'll go from there.
That's nice. Okay, nice.
You know, that's crazy love, bro. You know what I mean. Yeah. And to this day, you know, I hit him up, say what's up, but. You know, I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, but so when you guys traveled to other cities, New York, Vegas, California, Florida, wherever, where did you guys say you were from? Did y'all say you were from DC, Maryland?
No, Baltimore? We always said we was from Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And everybody always, whenever we said Maryland, everybody automatically said Baltimore.
Baltimore, right?
Because you know,
it's the capital.
That's their capital, basically. Yeah.
Annapolis really.
Annapolis really, but for them it's Baltimore.
Yeah, hip hop is Baltimore.
They hear Maryland, they're like, oh, The Wire. You know what I mean? Off the break. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was always Baltimore for them. Yeah. Yeah, bro. But you know, it like I said, it's been a journey, and it was a blessing at the same time because it was something that I always wanted as a kid, and I made it happen. Yeah. I can't be like, man, like I stopped my music career and it's just like fuck, I can't go. Nah, bro. I seen things and I enjoy things and I feel accomplished to a certain extent. You know what I mean? For me to get played on 92.3, for us to even go and headline the Fillmore by my brother, you know, to this day, we're the only Latinos, I could actually say, we're the only Latinos to headline the Fillmore. And the only Latinos to actually touch the stage, Salvadorian Latinos, to touch the stage at the Howard Theater. Yeah. You know, and for us to touch the Howard Theater as Salvadorians, three cats that grew up in the neighborhood, we ain't have shit. You know what I mean?
Life
to
goes,
be like, I could go home and sit down and be like, shit, I did that. We did that. You know,
at the end of the day, it was all worth it, right?
Yeah, brother. It was. But you know what? I can never take all the credit, and I know Trukin can hear me out and he vouches for it. I can never take all the credit. All this happened because of my brother. Wow. You know, because
now is your brother still making music?
You know, it's crazy. We're all on the same page. You know, we're on some like, you know, because the last show we did was, I want to say last year, and we did it for a charity event for La Conecta, for the situation that happened at Piney Branch. At Flower Branch, and we just did that, bro, and we got off stage and we were talking about it. The vibe just isn't there anymore. Remember how we used to just go crazy? And it was just like, yo, you know, it was everything to us. But it was just like the vibe wasn't there. And then
it was because of you guys? Do you feel like it was the vibe or was just
we just put so many years in this shit, bro. Okay. And it gets to the point where like we put so many years, and being real, we put so much money, our time, our effort. Dog, we put everything, our heart and soul to this. And to this day, you know, it's difficult as a Latino. Name me a Latino beside Pun that's out there really, really like that. I mean, Bodega Bams is ill, but I'm talking about
Joel Ortiz.
Oh, Joel Ortiz, but they're not making it like a Rick Ross or a DJ Khaled. You know what I mean? I mean, Pitbull's out there like that.
Yeah, Pitbull.
But I mean, at the end of the day,
there's different markets,
different genres to it.
Different genres. I mean, hip hop is so huge that you got different genres of rap.
But locally,
you're able to pick a certain lane, go for that, attack it. Yeah. Like Rick Ross music, he attacks more kind of like commercial, and still like he has songs that is able to get that radio spins, but he still has that loyal underground. Street
But I mean, as far as commercially in hip hop, you don't see a lot of Latinos anymore.
I mean, but my big thing is
you got Cap G.
I'm talking about locally.
Yeah. Locally? Oh, you mean in this area?
Locally.
Well, yeah, just in this area, like
it's just tough. And that was one of my missions, to get the fuck up out of Maryland and do shows in Los Angeles, Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, so for me to get played on Las Vegas radio was everything to me. Right. You know what I mean? I was like, shit, dog, I just got played in Vegas. You know what I mean? So it was
a bigger land market out there.
Yeah, bro. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. Throughout my whole journey, bro, I always kept the word humble in front of me. I see all these young artists nowadays that came about from one day to another, dropping one mixtape, and all of a sudden they superstar artists and like, oh yeah, 154 verse. Bro, you ain't go through the shit I went through to drop $150 for a verse. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you thinking you Mr. Superstar. Nah, bro. I can't respect the artists like that. I respect humble artists and hungry artists, not one day to another artist that think they superstars. I don't respect that at all. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like when MySpace came out. Remember MySpace? There was a whole bunch of MySpace rappers that beautiful pages, and then once MySpace died and went to Facebook, those rappers died as well.
And you know what I think it is? Nowadays, all these new artists are spoiled. I didn't have a YouTube. I didn't have a MySpace when I started. I didn't have a Facebook when I dropped my first or second mixtape. Shit, I think when I dropped my third mixtape is when that Facebook started going on and I started promoting it. I can remember it. Black and Red Tape 1 was dropping like shit all over the social media. But besides that, it was just like, shit, nigga, we here in the street. No matter what, we were here in the street. We would blow up posters for all of our shows. When we opened up for Jadakiss, when we opened up for Jim Jones, when we opened up for Busy Bone, we were here in the streets.
You don't have to work that hard now. Right? I mean,
Right.
throw some up on YouTube.
Exactly.
You get a million likes and you're good, right?
Y'all remember when y'all used to go on every corner, y'all used to see posters and shit?
Yeah.
That's
Now
what we
everybody
did.
else is doing the work for you because somebody likes a video or views a video. They're basically doing the work.
And now you can pay for the likes and the views and
shit,
everything.
nigga, you could drop a mixtape on SoundCloud and you good.
Yeah.
We was actually hustling, going to clubs. We were going everywhere, actually. And you know, that's how we got the love.
That's real hustle.
That's what we got the love.
Exactly.
People actually saw the hunger.
Yeah.
And that's
And being humble because
Exactly.
you're there with the people.
Exactly,
Talking
bro.
to them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
connecting
the
with
crazy shit is,
Yeah.
it all started from Baltimore.
Right.
People started being like, damn, them niggas is getting love in Baltimore.
Right.
So, you know, I guess that grabbed attention. And
Yeah.
that's when all these shows were coming up.
Right.
You know? So it's a blessing, man. That's the reason why I can't go home and be like, man, fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? We did the
Yeah,
damn
your
thing.
journey and stuff,
We did
yeah.
the damn thing, and
Exactly.
you know, you can't say 848 ain't do shit. You know, it's a blessing when you know your name is being spoken about or spoken upon, and you know, it's just a blessing, bro.
What would you say is your major contribution that your 848 did to the DMV music scene or the land rap scene, whatever you want to call it?
We've always wanted to actually like do stuff for the community. What I have done is myself personally, like I'll donate money to El Salvador kids and they get backpacks. You
That's
know,
good.
it's with my mother-in-law, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
You know, my mother-in-law, she works very hard she's a vice president for Fiesta DC.
Okay, that's what's up.
And you know, every year she does events, and then her and the president of the company just round up money, and then I work with her, so forth and so forth, and then make things happen. I don't actually go to El Salvador, they do, and then you know, that's a part of it. But one of our biggest things that we actually started talking about last month about it, and we started talking to sponsors, people that could help us out. For next year in August, we were actually thinking about doing it this year, but since you know I got my whole situation with my marriage and all that, we're gonna do it in August of next year. We're thinking about doing a Northwest Park Day,
Okay.
and in my old neighborhood. So, and we're planning on doing backpacks and all that good stuff, moon bounces for the kids, cause
That's what it's about, man.
yeah,
You know,
bro. At the
community,
end of the
right?
day, yeah, because at the end of the day, bro, we always did it for the younger crowd.
Right,
You know,
right.
we've actually spoken to cops have came up to us while I was doing a music video. They've came up to us and be like, you know, y'all 848, right? We were
I
like,
remember when
yeah.
I was at one of your music video shoots, cops came, they thought y'all were a gang or something.
Yeah, they thought we was a gang.
Yeah.
But you know what happened after that? The good thing that happened after that was that they were like, these young kids in the neighborhood actually want to speak to you. They want to see how they can be positive around the area.
Okay.
And it went from there.
All right, that's what's up.
You know what I mean?
About. And you think about the new artists now, they're not doing that, man.
They're
You know,
not-
they think about themselves, right?
They're not doing
Money,
that.
and that's all they
Prime
think.
example.
Yeah.
A lot of artists will be, you know what I hate? I can't say hate. What I don't like,
Dislike.
and it bothers me. There you go. That's the word. What bothers me. You know when the whole Flint situation happened?
Right.
These Bammers are promoting. They're talking about, look, I'm sending 1,000 cases of water to Flint. Yeah. Come and see me perform tonight. Blah blah blah.
Right,
Bro,
right.
you doing it for a cause or you doing it for
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, for yourself.
Another thing I don't like, when you at the gas station and you on IG recording this and you're like, yo, I'm about to give $1,000. Or look, I'm giving pizza to this homeless guy. Like, okay, what is you doing that for? Do it on your own time and do it
Right,
very
right.
personal.
Yeah,
you know, if you really mean it from the heart.
I don't need.
If you do
You
it
ain't
from
doing
the
it for
heart,
somebody else.
exactly. If you do it from the heart,
Yeah.
why you promoting it on
Yeah.
IG? You just
Right.
doing it for a little whatever it is that you
Attention
want to
stuff.
do it. Oh
Exactly.
yeah, he's so nice, blah
Yeah.
blah.
He's
Nah,
a good dude. Or,
That's not a humble artist.
Right,
You're looking
right.
for attention.
Right.
Dot. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I see it.
Right.
So, you know, that's something that's something that we spoke about. NWP Day is not gonna have anything to do with 848.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not gonna promote 848 in no type of way.
Right.
You know, we're doing it for the kids because this is something that we grew up. We used to have these Northwest Park days. We used to have the Moon Bouncers, but they cut it.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And now,
Probably
you know,
money in it or
yeah,
whatever, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're coming in and doing it next year. So in August, because you know it's right before the kids go back to school.
Oh yeah, perfect.
So that's the plan, man. So you know we decided to work, you know, last month because we want to be able to have this shit down pack in the year.
Now, you still have close ties with the leasing office or
Fierce,
or the community?
yeah. Well, True does, and he's actually gonna go back to talk. We were talking about. We actually planned this last month, and we're planning on talking to them next month. Because I want to be able to say, okay, I got these sponsors. You know, right now we actually have Audi, we have Fiesta DC, of course, Goya, and that's one of the few people. But I want to have a couple more, so I can actually be like, yo, look, I got all these folks, and they want to do something good for the
I
community.
mean, you got big names already, so I mean, you should be on your way.
Yeah, it's a blessing, bro,
Yeah.
because and it's people that I know, so that's the good thing about it. It's not. It's thank God that, you know, because if I knock on anybody's door, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
You knocking at Audi for what?" You know, but it went through certain people.
You're gonna go like to your senator, or you know what I'm saying, like governor or whatever. I mean, because they.
I'm actually.
If you present it to them, I mean, they're trying to, you know, look good too. You know what I'm saying?
The
Politics,
DC
right?
mayor is very, very, very close. So
Yeah.
the mayor of DC, so you
Get
know,
that
yeah,
sealed,
yeah.
man.
We probably.
You think it's for sure going on?
Yeah, we're actually We're gonna work very
Working
hard
through
to
it?
make that
Yeah.
happen, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, that'll be nice, man.
Dope.
Not too many people are giving back to communities and shit.
Nah.
Now, for the folks listening out there, where can they find your mixtapes?
Um,
And the name of them as well.
Well, you can find all my mixtapes on datpiff.com. My latest music is actually on SoundCloud. Planning on dropping the Black and Red Tape 2 in June. But I might cut it, you know, that's cutting it too close. I might do it in July.
Yeah. Y'all got music videos out too as well.
Yeah. I actually have
How many videos y'all got?
we have a couple, man. We have a couple. You could reach it. You could go to youtube.com/channel848music, and all of our videos are posted there. Or you can search us through either Trugan 848, Fito 848, or Sway 848, and then you know we go from there. Shout out my boy Chunky, man. Chunky has always been there from day one. You know what I mean? He's actually always wanted to be a rapper. Man, he's going through. No, I'm joking. He, you know, what I mean, he actually he's always been there and lived a rapper lifestyle, but you know, what I mean, never got to the mic. He's always wanted to kill somebody with a mic, but it never happened. But yeah, shout out
Actually
Chucky.
grab the mic and kill you.
Yeah. Shout out everybody else that held 848 down, man. And then you could catch our music on SoundCloud.com/848mg.
All right, dope. Now I know you've seen a lot of evolution, change through music, because you mentioned you came through the Nas era. You seen the switch up to the Jay-Z, the Big Pun era, to the No Limit era, to Bad Boy Everything, to now to the strange era we live and everything today and things like that. How have you seen the whole adaptation and the sound and music, and have you let that in any way influence y'all, or you keep to your own thing, or how do you let it influence and stuff?
I've always liked, aside to Nas, Mobb Deep, and all that, I've always been a fan of Andre 3000, Outkast, T.I., Jeezy, you know, and all that. You know, at the end of the day, they do trap music, you know, and that down south vibe to it. You know, we've always gotten that down south vibe, and we've always put that into our beats, but we've never gotten to a point where I could tell you, you know, I drop cocaine. You know, I sell cocaine. I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? Lock, pop, and drop. I don't do none of that shit. None of us do. If we get on the down south beat, best believe, you know, we'll go hard on it. You know, we'll go hard and spit our life into it. So, you know, nowadays, man, it's just something weird, bro.
I was gonna ask the same thing actually, because like, how would you say your style has changed since 2014 and today? Are you more of a conscious rapper now? I mean, or like
as a sound change,
you know,
or
do you look at things like completely differently now?
I honestly think, and I didn't see it, but I honestly think my sound did change. I'm more how can I tell you? I'm more deep into things. Like I'll rap on an actual hip hop beat. I haven't actually gotten on a down south beat. Like my whole Black and Red tape too is on some like lyrical, like hip hop, like nothing down south.
That's what we need today, man.
I'm on some like Henny sipping cigar type music, you know, like
Buena vida.
the good life. I won't talk to you what I spoke to you about 5 years ago, you know. So that's something that is very hard for a lot of artists or young cats can't relate to. You know, it's very different. You know, I speak different.
Right. Now, how has the because you mentioned being Salvadoran, and obviously the folks that don't know, the DC DMV is a large Salvadoran population and stuff. How has been the feedback? Then, because you're like one of the first Salvadoran rappers I know that raps in English and actually got skills and stuff. You know, your whole crew and whatnot and stuff.
That.
You know, you're the first ones I could think of and stuff. You know what I mean? So how has been the feedback from the community? Have they been supportive, or they're like, we don't like that? Because I know there's a lot of like folks that they lean more towards that kind of like West Coast kind of style. Or
it's very hard to say. We get a lot of love from the Latino community because you gotta think about it. We were getting crazy love from the Black community because of our style, you know, and it went from there. Like Latino, I can only say, you know, it's just a 50-60%.
Right.
Everything else, it was just, you know, it's just at the end of the day. Look, man, like hip hop was originated from Black folks. You know what I mean? And but you know, we tend to blend in. So it went from there, and I mean, it's just you can't say a Latino artist is how can I tell you, it actually brought up hip hop, created hip hop. So it's very difficult, bro. It's very difficult. But I always felt like we were less in the community, the Latino community. But I've always been positive towards it, never negative. So,
but your focus is just
of course, I never see hip hop or the music I do as a culture thing or a color thing.
Race thing.
Like it's one language to me, bro.
Yeah, music
you know?
is a universal
like
language.
I don't when I'm rapping or I'm in the studio, I don't think I'm Black. I don't think I'm Hispanic. I just do what I do.
hip-hop.
I
You're
just
just
want
hip-hop.
people to hear my story.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I want.
Right.
I want people to hear my story, what I gotta say, and
You're just being hip hop. That's it.
I'm just being hip hop, bro.
Yeah. Dope. As far as MCs, top 5 MCs.
Holy shit.
I don't think we've asked this question before.
No, I think it's the first time you asked.
You mentioned. I'm gonna say.
I know it's a
He
tough
said
question.
Nas, right?
Yeah.
You said Nas number one.
So, Nas, you said top 5?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go to 10.
Let's do top 5. You first do top 5.
Top
Top
5.
15.
Top 5. I want to say Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z,
East Coast.
Big Pun, DMX.
Oh, DMX.
Oh, X is up there.
I heard he's looking pretty rough, man, on his last
Yeah, yo,
Right.
I heard he blacked out or something,
tour. That's what I
right?
heard too,
Leave him
man.
alone,
I think he's back on that shit,
Leave him
man.
alone, man.
Yo, he needs to chill though, man.
He can do what he wants.
Yeah, he can, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
Shit,
Hey,
I
I heard
heard.
he's coming to town, though. He's coming to town.
Yeah.
Next month, I think.
Well, shit,
No,
after
no,
all
no,
that, I
he
don't know
is.
about that.
It's
I
gonna be
know.
at the Fillmore.
Yeah, the film or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard he was in rough shape, man.
Other than that, what so far would you say has been your biggest moment? Like, yo, this was like a surreal moment and stuff. You know,
A
like
surreal
maybe a
moment?
performance or a certain
Most
feedback
memorable,
that
maybe?
yeah,
Yeah.
like you know, like if you were to
Well, I actually got 2 crazy moments.
okay.
I'm gonna tell you one. My first crazy moment when I was in my work clothes and I was at Subway, right? And this was after the whole Fat Trail thing. I was at Subway getting my bread and all of a sudden, they're like, yo, you Sway, right? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, yo, you got the song with Fat Trail, right? Shout out Fat Trail, cause hey, what the fuck?
Right.
You know, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was grinding, but I got noticed with the Bet That joint.
Okay.
He was like, you did a song with Fat Trail, right? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, yo, can I take a picture in my work clothes,
Oh,
bro?
wow.
So I had, you know what I mean, my name and all that shit, my government name and all that. You know what I mean? That was one.
Okay.
Second one, man, it was the love and support that I got from my closest friends and my family when they heard my single with Fat Trail again. bet that. Niggas was calling me and they were like, nigga, we made it. I was like, dog, not yet, bro. Not yet, dog. You know what I mean? Not yet. This is just the beginning. He was like, nah, dog, you wildin', man. He was like, dog, I'm blasting this joint. There was just blasting it, man. I was actually driving. It's just a hell of a feeling because you're like, damn, bro, like, I'm actually on the radio with like a million people could probably listen to this shit. You know what I mean?
Many people make it there.
Exactly. And this is just a blessing. And I'm like, wow. You know, that was my wow moment.
Okay.
Shit, I was cheesing on my way home.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Also, if you got any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah. Shout out to, first and foremost, my wife.
Of course.
And then shout out to 848, my brothers Trugan, Fito, Chunky, you know what I mean? Everybody that held 848 down. You know, I never called anybody a fan. I've always called everybody a supporter. Because if it wasn't for them, our name would have been like the way it has been for all these years. Right. You know, or anybody would be saying, "Yo, you heard Sway's joint? Yo, the Bama, yeah, he from 848, blah blah blah." You know, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them. So I want to shout y'all out, salute y'all. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be here in this radio. You know what I mean? This podcast, talking to y'all. You know
and thanks for coming, because I reached out to you and you said no to me.
You ain't gonna let that go.
Son.
You ain't letting that go, man.
Yeah, my bad, dog. No, it was never nothing. You know, it was never nothing personal.
We just had Don De Niro and Chris Gotti on here. They just needed one invitation. We needed two before you came in.
No, it was just, you know, like I said, you know, I don't do the hip hop thing as a career move anymore. You know, it's more for the love of it. You know, I've actually gotten a lot of people actually want me to perform for their events, and I feel bad because it's like I turn them down. And you know,
I know
the last interview was with what's the name, Organic Radio. This was like about 2 months ago. Shout out to Organic. You know, and it was just like I don't want people thinking I'm coming back, because I'm not the type to tell you one thing and then another after. You know, if I'm gonna do it for the love of it, I'm just gonna drop whatever it is that I have for everybody to listen to that supported me from day one. But I don't want them thinking this is on some, like, you know, promotional. Because if I do promotional, everybody knows I'm not going to just be local. I'm going everywhere. I go all out.
No, but real talk, like, first thanks for coming on with
us. And I appreciate you guys, man.
But also now after hearing, you know, your personal struggles and what you've been through, we all understand. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we respect that you still came out to talk to us. But anybody with some common sense would be like, nah, that dude, you know, went through some stuff. Like, they would understand why. You know what I'm saying? So respect.
Would you consider a reunion anytime soon, man?
You know what? We was actually talking about that shit yesterday with Trugan and Fito. We were like, man, damn, yo, like, we getting so many people. A lot of people just hitting us up, man.
A lot of people would love that shit, right?
I mean,
I know the feeling.
If the money looking right now, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? But, you know, I do plan on maybe doing a listening party for my Black and Red tape too.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll probably see us at the Fillmore, you know, making it do what it do.
Now, what's the part of music you like the most? You like recording, writing, performing?
The beat, bro.
The beat?
The beat just takes me the fuck away from this world, bro. If I hear a dope ass beat, bro, like, nigga, nothing would take me out of that. Nothing would take me out of that zone. Like, and that's one of the things that I use as therapy. You know, we're human beings and we go through stuff every day, no matter what. Even if, example, oh damn, I lost $1. Oh man, damn, man, that was my last $1. You know, you stress things out.
Right.
But when I hear beats, like, man, they take me out of this world. That's like my spaceship, bro. Right. So when I hear beats,
that's all you need, right?
That's my zone out session, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it goes from there.
The best therapy and stuff.
Best
therapy. What do you think about artists today?
Locally or
everywhere? You know what I'm saying? Just where, like, commercially, locally,
yeah. I only salute a few.
Yeah.
I only salute a few.
You think everybody's trying to go with the flow? Like,
everybody's trying to do what everybody's trying to do. What the whole ordeal is with fucking Young Thug and all that. Everybody trying to do that. But there's a few that I know who keep it real, who can do that trap shit. You know what I mean? But like I said, I can only salute a few. You know what I mean? I can only salute a few hip-hop artists. You know? And it goes from there. I mean, I ain't saying I'm the shit, but damn, but you gotta
keep true to your shit.
Yeah, you gotta keep true to your shit, and you know, if you lyrically, then I respect that. But if you're doing on some, like,
and that's the thing, I sell really lyrically no more
all the time, and I sack my pants and all that, I can't respect you, brother.
Hell no.
because I know the real you.
Right.
You gotta have some substance,
There you go.
Right.
knowledge.
I like a story
Right.
behind shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, at the Cannabis Fest, Talib Kweli
Oh,
was,
yeah,
was the
yeah.
feature artist.
I
Right?
mean,
Yeah,
Kweli was
yeah.
sick.
Yo,
Yo,
when you think about political rappers and,
Yeah.
Black
and
Star.
Yeah.
conscious rappers, I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Talib.
Yeah. The
Shit
conscious
was-
rappers, they always end up surviving, doing well and
Yeah.
stuff, even though radio doesn't
Exactly.
give them the support, but
Yeah.
they
got
they're
a
able
following,
to,
though.
yeah, they're able to do their shows. and
Yeah.
do everything.
Even though they're not going with what everybody else is
Right.
doing.
Right.
Let me
Right.
ask you
Right.
something, especially you, Seto, but
Wait,
no,
who's this?
Seto
Oh.
and Sway. It does. I don't think this is an issue anymore, but it used to be. DC's problem, for me, I used to think like with hip hop was that it was just where it was located geographically. It was sandwiched in between the North, so you had a New York influence, but it was also kind of like still considered the South. So it's kind of like this identity crisis.
We were the
Whereas-
beef between two buns.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So right. So you didn't know if you
New
went
York
New
and
York
Atlanta?
style or you
Yeah,
went say
right.
Southern style. But now they say trap or mumble or whatever the fuck you want to call it is now like the end all or pretty much was being heard commercially. I don't think DC really has that issue anymore. What do you think?
well, not really, bro. But at the same time, you know what I've been hearing lately? I don't mean to like get you off, but you just reminded me about the whole like, you know, everybody following the whole trend.
Right.
Everybody all of a sudden wants to be Jamaican.
Here?
Yeah. And in the industry.
But
Oh.
all like you said, you don't salute people now. There's only a couple
But
that,
that,
you do
yeah,
salute.
that,
So I mean, the majority of DC now is pretty. You know, the majority trappers,
Everybody's a trapper in
right?
DC.
Right.
Even in Maryland, bro. And even in everybody's a trapper up
that's-
to even the boonies, bro.
yeah,
That's why I said
yeah.
like now you really don't have that
Yeah.
problem anymore.
They
Because I know
had-
when you started rapping, I'm saying you've been rapping longer than him.
Right.
So that's why when you started, did you see that? You know what I'm saying? Like that whole, are we more New York? Are we more Southern? Just because where we are
Man,
geographically.
I remember when I started, a lot of folks here sounded like Scarface.
You see what I'm saying?
A lot of
DC
the
sounded
whole,
like
the whole
DC.
South
Period.
trend. Believe it or
There
not,
was-
DC
because
loves
right,
Scarface.
a lot of
Yeah.
people see DC as like the South,
Yeah,
right?
it is the South.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Maryland technically is part
Yeah,
of the South.
ma-
It's below the
basically,
Mason-Dixon
yeah,
line.
yeah.
If you're in Baltimore, then you up north.
Right. And
But
it's
yeah,
a different culture. in
And I
Baltimore.
believe that a lot of
Yeah.
people did do the whole Scarface thing.
Yeah.
But there was,
trust me.
but they were still lyrical.
CDs.
But they were still lyrical. Because look, if you were a Scarface listener and you gonna tell me you would listen to Scarface and you know,
Oh, Scarface.
Yeah.
For example, if I told you my influence is Nas and all I did was trap music, I don't believe you.
But see, Nas was more storytelling. Like the sound here that time was more like Scarface with the kind of like the lyrics of Bone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Bone is not really lyrical. They're saying stuff if you can slow them down
It's
and,
style.
and hear them and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But that's kind of like what it was. Like there wasn't too much storytelling being done in DC. They were all sounding like Scarface and stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
Everybody was either sound like Scarface or you had a couple of college kids that they sounded like they were from like New York and stuff, like they were from Brooklyn or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it was around the era that I came up and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
but it was different. I don't know.
So
But
DC is
but
the South?
Yeah.
yeah, DC
Yeah,
is
yeah,
technically
yeah.
the South. Yeah.
so
I mean, I know it was.
It's
I know
not
it was
the
in the
dirty
union.
South,
If
but
you
it's
want
the
to
South.
get political, I know it was in the union, but
the-
geographically,
it's
it's
the tip
under
of the
Mason
South.
Dixon.
Yeah,
It's
no,
part
it
of
is,
the
it's,
South.
Mason
part
Dixon.
of the South.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we feel like I feel like I was up north the whole time, but
Right,
then all of a
right.
sudden,
Does DC have its own identity though? You know what I mean?
It is go. But what
I
happened
know.
was,
Yeah.
I feel like people here stopped embracing the go sound.
Right.
And
Yeah, you don't hear
that's
too much about
and
that.
that's why I feel like
Wale
I think
actually
that-
took the go-go
I think that
sound.
depends on the
he took
agency.
it and it helped him. He used
It
it to
helped him.
benefit him because then he started getting songs with the Roots, and then that helped him getting that conscious folks, and then eventually brought the attention.
What song
of
did
Rick
he have
Ross.
on 93 in regular rotation? It was off of over
Wale?
a
Dig Dug?
beat.
Wasn't it? I know he did.
It was Dig
He did a
Dug, wasn't
remix
it?
with Backyard.
No, but it was Dig Dug.
Yeah, Dig Dug.
It was on. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
on
it.
regular rotation
Yeah.
on 93.9.
Yeah.
I remember.
Didn't he have a song called Uptown Rumors?
Yeah,
that was the
Uptown
first
Road,
one.
Yeah, but that was more like
And then after
underground
that,
stuff,
Nike
more
Boots
street.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first one that hit him up was the Dig Dug drums. Yeah, yeah.
Dig Dug?
Yeah. But like again, he had the help of the go-go bands. I think when he travels, when he goes on tour now, he has the go-go band with him and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some artists actually have go-go bands that, you know, they came to pick up the go-go bands and help them with stuff. But what I think is that a lot of folks here start embracing the trap. I mean, nothing wrong with it. You know, if it works for you, works for you. Whatever. Every artist, to each artist his own. And
But trap is worldwide too, though, right? I
And
mean, you think about
got
go-go.
Latinos
Go-go is
trapping.
not worldwide.
And it's interesting that we
I
mentioned the Latino trap because this weekend is Billboards, and they actually had a panel yesterday of all the Latin trappers. Because now the Houston is the Latin trap.
I heard,
And
man.
that-
I heard Latin trap is big now,
Yo,
man.
that's
Cap
like,
G a Latin trapper, but he only does.
but he's English. No, I'm talking about like
Who?
Cap G.
Cap G, yeah.
Cap G?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But now the land trap, like the Spanish land trap, yo, that it's gonna cause a big stir within the land community because y'all gotta remember, land community, they did not accept hip hop. And now what happens? These radio stations, you know, they brush reggaeton off and things like that. And now the streets, the clubs, the land trap is in hard. But who's supporting the land trap? More likely, you know, the black urban stations will play a land trap than the Spanish station will. You know what I mean? So the Spanish stations, they're going to lose their listeners because that demographic is now they don't listen to Spanish music no more.
And it goes back to what you were asking me about as far as how does the Latin community feel about y'all?
Right.
There it goes.
Yeah.
They ain't supporting it. They wasn't supporting it like that.
Right.
Only a certain few because they were all into reggaeton.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want to hear a hip hop beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like we felt the same way when we had an interview with what was it, Mauricio? What was that? It's El Sol, El Nuevo. La Nueva. Yeah, we had a radio station with La Nueva, and you know it was the same. It was the same.
How was that? How did that?
It was actually good. You know, shout out Mauricio, Pretty Boy Mo. You know, that's how he goes by, and he actually reached out for us to have the interview there, and you know what I mean, we had a good interview. It was just like, but to be honest, the whole time, the person that was talking was Trugan.
Okay.
Because my Spanish was horrible. And Fito, I don't even want to say anything about Fito, but yeah, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was like, I felt like the feedback was like for a few, like, yeah. But the rest, it was just like, you know, it wasn't there.
Yeah, but eventually it's going to come. I mean, that's why I give my respects to the trap music is because of what it's doing to the Latin community. It's basically, remember us? Y'all shitted on us hip hop?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Here's the revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it stuff, you know. But yeah, yo, Sway, where can we find you and stuff?
Y'all can find me on IG, Sway _ A48, SoundCloud.com/A48MG, YouTube.com/channel A48Music.
A48Music, YouTube. All right.
Yep.
Look forward to that reunion, man.
Hey, I appreciate that,
and
brother.
the mixtapes are on that Piff.
Yeah, the mixtapes on that
What's
Piff.
the name of the mixtapes?
My mixtapes are, you're gonna, on that Piff, you'll find I Lived It, I Wrote It, the Black and Red Tape 1, and then you'll have Illmatic I Am.
Damn. Two Nas albums connected.
Influenced, yeah.
That's what's up, that's
And
what's
so, and then you'll get the Black and Red Tape too. So
All right. Dope. We appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate you guys, man. Salute y'all,
I
man.
hope you reach out to Fio and Truken and let them know we got the invitation here waiting for them to come through.
All right, I appreciate that on behalf of them, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
that, man.
You got any last shout outs?
Shout out to everybody that supported us.
All right.
Word life.
That's what's up. Cool. So we want to thank y'all for listening. Thanks for tuning in again to another great episode of the Microondas Podcast. Please share with your friends. We love your support, especially them comentarios, especially if you drop them on our Instagram at Microondas Podcast. Like us on Facebook at Microondas Podcast. SoundCloud at Microondas Podcast. Hashtag the Microondas Podcast Show. This episode was recorded and mixed by Luminary Music Group. Graphics by S. Trevor Designs. Visuals by Triple Dynamics. This show was sponsored by the Green Room Smoke Shop, the #1 place in DC for pipes, bongs, papers, vapes, incense, grinders, anything you need to help you spark one up. Yeah, this is Cero Mundo. Yo, peace, paz, música.
Now let me start start off by saying you niggas is fake. Contradict yourself on Facebook, what a shame. I'm only 30, going to 31. Never been a loud mouth, instead I popped a nigga in the loud mouth. Done, I never changed, the outfit is still clean. Still speed on me, 16 cash rules everything around me. And Hennessy, not done it, she never left. Camouflage down to the sucks, them dudes respect me. Check me, fuck no nigga, is you crazy? Check flames all day for talking too fugazi. Niggas talk a lot, that remind me of pussy. My sister go harder than half of you niggas eating cookies. Old school, OG, young niggas calling me. Respect the shit that I done for my block with no royalty. I know these wanna be no having material one show. Half rapping thinking you made it, fuckeries annoy me. Stop it, homie, my legacy's forever. You hear my name ring bells on every conversation. Patience, one of the few Latinos who got hurt. Got word about you fucks in that turd. Yeah, that's right, you heard me, one of the first. All the other shit come at me first before you curse. Nigga, check my catalog, street dude, I eat good. Album on the way, niggas is just really shook. Man, I spit it how I live it, done, I never front. I walk it, I talk it like I'm number one. How my son doing gravy, his daddy just bought on my house. Next move, Mercedes, hard work, it pays me. Never off topic, I love speaking life. Speaking common sense with sense, making some rights. What's the price for your feature? One of the question, who cares? Just send me a beat, call it devastation. Location, that's N-Dub and WP. I rap it to the death, nigga, cause my blood's on those concretes. I'm on 3, plus hungry. Fresh dude, fresh look like I'm rubbing all over that bouncy. Nigga, get your weight up, hit the streets, get shaked up. IG don't make them niggas look like they're wearing makeup. I made up nothing, nigga, everything's real. Real, recognize real, one call, I know the drill. That's true, I think they forgot I was calling them shots. I ran the DW, gave you niggas, then open up shots. Paved the way for some of you dumb niggas like, nigga, now you acting stupid, but you was like, oh, nigga, this shit you spit, sway, go hard, nigga. You killed all of your souls, I respect you, yeah, the God, nigga. And everybody from Mayfield to Yates, spit raw, nigga. Yo, check my boy out, his spit, no, that's all, nigga. My real talk, shout out everybody who I inspire. I do it for cats like you, yeah, through the wire. Much love, respect, God knows I mean best. One love, I reach success. Hey, 48, that black and